Oh, hello, my name is Michael Davey. This is my project called Accumulation 13, and after 13 years, in each year it's always been a different material has ordered these various projects over the years, whether it's asphalt, brick, ceramic, rocks, or wood, rubber in the case of balls when I've worked with my dog in projects down here at Gibraltar Point, as well as photography. One year in which I dealt with the history of this area, taking plastic right from the lake, and I'm really everything that virtually goes on this building really usually never comes from no more than 100 feet from it. I generally use the archaeology and the history of the site to, whether it's media or geography or geology, I usually use what's around me directly on all the walls. But so Accumulation 13 again is about the material, just the amount of materials that comes in on water and floats in the debris around us, and it's really it's at the same time it's a colorful use of the grid of the bridge. The breeze blocks, there's 160 breeze blocks, and so there's 160 pieces of plastic and they're all just taped on. So it's really low tech type of project. The other walls are just where rocks are placed on the wall. So this has been for me a chance to work with all the cardinal directions. What always inspires me is really just being on the island and finding debris around me all the time. Whether I walk a lot on the island and I find things, and whether it's all the materials I find over the 13 years I bring from Hamlin's Beach or from various beaches around here, I bring to this building, and I use it as a place for ordering materials or giving it a type of symmetry. And whether it's north, south, and east west walls, they all have. The other walls are bricks, so I'm able to put up, about 500 pieces of rock on the other side of the building, which is part of this project as well. The east side, this is the woman's side. These are sort of bricks that have been designed into the building of this whole building, a 1950s beach women's and men's washroom and changing station. This is called the Gibraltar Point bathing pavilion, I guess. And what you have is breeze block and brick. And the north face, where I've ordered plastic on breeze block, this time you have breeze block and brick, and the bricks are coming out forward smartly about inch and a half, so that I expose rocks and stones, and I put them on top of all these bricks, and they almost are a type of order. This building, this east face is ordering all the type of stone that I find generally in the area. Whether there's a ceramic element here, which is found no more than 100 feet away. Ceramic that was part of a chimney or part of some sort of. I think this is part of this is the roof of the chemistry building at the Toronto Island Filtration Plant, and it's been renovated and reconfigured, and the debris that has come out of the process I'm using. And this is an example of someone who's taken a rock away and put something on, and this is part of my. I'm able to work with people adding work to my work all the time. So the work is constantly being changed and transformed by the viewer. In some cases I've come here and people have completely taken the work down, and that's all right, because what happens, I just put it back up again in a matter of an hour. In this case, it's a time, when you come into a building, it's intimate, look at it, praise each of these objects really close at hand. It's very much a piece about accessibility and people using the building, and the viewers being able to approach and look at all the work as well. Yeah, sometimes you'll get a huge accumulation of flying insects that come here that usually they're no more nocturnal. They come at night and they buzz around the lights, and they die and accumulate around where all the spiders build their nests. So the spiders are part of the building, part of the work, and I just let it all happen. This is the south face with about 240 rocks on this place. Again, Asphalt is probably one of my favorite materials to work with. Asphalt is found over here. Asphalt's part of the geology of the island now, as well as the ceramic, as well as the limestone, and there's some concrete. Concrete, yeah. Like I've done a project. I mean, I forgot to mention concrete. Like concrete, one of my favorite materials to work with is concrete because Toronto is all about concrete and the way buildings were built in the 50s and 60s. So there's long concrete debris, and now that's breaking down, and you can see within concrete itself, you can see limestone and sandstone, and you can see gravel and sand. So that's a conglomerate of materials. Probably you've got a ceramic pipe here, which is made somewhere in I think this is made in Chicago, and you can see that this is this element is just the beauty of this particular work is that you put a rock up and it just stays there, and doesn't fall off. I've had projects where I had balls up here one year, and the balls generally all fall off, and so that was a very difficult project, putting a spherical object onto these bricks. In the wintertime, sometimes I've come here in the pristine winter, and I've made 500 snowballs for this whole project in the middle of January, and I've put them up in the middle of winter. And one year I even took rocks, and I put rocks in the middle of snowballs, and I packed them up, and I put the snowball on top so the rock disappeared. But what happened over the course of the week was that the sun hit the snowball and warmed up the rock inside, and the snow melted, and eventually the stone was found back again on top of each brick. I've been lucky enough to be given the opportunity by the parks here, Warren Halsington and people like that. This is the west side. This is the men's toilet side. I just try to use the materials as I find them and work with issues more around how something can be broken up and how the complexity of the world can be really brought and put into particular little zones of pure observation, so that all these aspects of viewing the world out there and the richness and variety of the world can be closely broken down, and the use of the grid, the use of the horizontal and vertical planes allows for each of the viewer to realize that over the 450 objects that are here, you can look at them individually and get a sense of them, and then move back and see the building from the cardinal points again, north, south, east, west, and get a whole picture of the environment at Center Island. Whether you look towards the city, you work towards the open horizon line of the lake, or you look at. There is generally a way in which to view the building at a distance, which allows for the building to have a sort of presence in the history of Toronto Island. Project I'll continue this for the rest of my days of my life, because I really see this as a building in which the phenomena of the island is celebrated.